My friends, I am back and ready to go. I hope you are too. This is Jay, and this is my summer school for stitches. I thought, what a great time. Instead of trying to do, summer knitting, making tops and things like ketchup, why don't I just take time and let's go back and as I shared with you, we have had a lot of stitch books. I've reviewed quite a few stitch books over the years. And at the time, I was all gung-ho, and we may have done a few things, and then you go on to the next one, then the next one, then the next one. That's when I realized, you know what? There's more information in there than we really saw or used. So I am going back to some of the stitch books. I don't know how long. I'm just going to go as the unction leads me, but we have a great number of stitch books to take our time to get us through the summer. Again, Jay's Summer School for Stitches. All right, the first book that you saw that I shared in my little preview video, it's one of the first books that I bought some time ago. I know I got it at Joann's because it's got a Joann sticker. So it's got the Joann sticker still there, and you can see it looks really nice and new because I really try to protect my books. I like them, and I always encourage you not to write so much in your books. Just make a working black and white copy just for your own use when you're working, and I'll show you that in just a few. All right, this is the Very Easy Guide to Lace Knitting, and it's by Lynn Watterson. Right there. Step-by-step techniques, easy to follow stitch pattern projects to get you started. And that's what we're doing tonight. We're getting started on summer school stitches. All right, real quick, I'm not going to data because I want to get right into it. I've already reviewed the book, so this is not a book review. I will add the book review over in my comment section so you can go back and look at the book. Of course, you'll see a little bit as we work. But this is mainly to find stitches or find something of interest that I have forgotten, maybe didn't even mention, wasn't smart enough to notice back in the day. But now, I am, and you are too. Now we can find things that we maybe overlooked. All right, so right off the bat, this stitch is, look at that. This is going to be stitched. Since her stitches aren't numbered, I'm going to use a page number as the stitch number. This is stitch number, since it's on page 92, I'm calling it stitch 92. Can you see that? Let's see, can I hold it in the light? There you go. Stitch 92. And it's simple. Up here it says diamonds and eyelet. And I thought, well, that's simple and nice to go, to start. And then I noticed there was something a little different, just a little hint to kind of get you excited. It's always amazing. Sometimes the easiest stitches or swatches sometimes are the trickiest one. This one kept tricking me up. And one reason we're using, I'm going back to some of the earlier stitch books, as I said, as more stitch books come out, publishers are now understanding, it's valuable. This is valuable space, and they are cutting out a lot of the row by row printing. It takes more paper, more time, all of that. Now a lot of them, or in fact a whole lot of them are going just to plain charts, giving you the information how to read the chart, giving you the symbols, the key, the abbreviations, all that you need, and then you just the chart and you have to go for it. So that's why I am so glad that I started a couple of years ago trying to introduce charts. I know how to read charts, but I see that I needed to grow too, and I thought, well, what a great way to get my friends to grow with me. And now we're going to dive into this chart, number 92 of this diamond and eyelet. Now I'm going to, for this stitch tutorial, I'm going to use the one with a little more oomph to it. She also has, right here on the second page, on page 93, there's a single or an easier chart without some of the little things I'm going to add that she added on this longer chart. So I'll remind you that when we get ready. Now, not only are we going to, am I going to walk you step by step through the chart and work it with you, as I always do, then at the very end, we will just take a few minutes to talk, and I'm going to give you some suggestions of how I would use a stitch and what kind of projects. And not every stitch that we do in this section, all during the summer schools for stitches, we can't do a project for every stitch. But if a stitch catches my eye, or if a stitch catches your eye, then we can do that. So I'll let you know at the end, when we get ready to, at the end of this tutorial, hey, I think this stitch would work pretty in this type of project or this type of design. And of course, you will be able to give me feedback and tell me what you think. All right, so now there's that. All right, now let's go to a little more, let's get some information. All right, right off the bat, we have the book. Now, just for a little information, I might need something to hold this up. Sorry, you think you got everything ready, but I was so excited because I really didn't want to. We have so many sweaters coming, I believe, for the fall. I didn't want to try to start a lot of summer sweaters that we couldn't finish. All right, first of all, right off the bat, all right, I've already shared with you. I don't know if I lay it down. Can you see it? No, I think I'm going to hold it up just a little bit. Okay. Now, here we go. All right, like I said, this is a chart because it's on page 92 of the book. I suggest for these stitches, these swatches, these practice pieces that you use, drop down to a US number 8, or if you're going to use finer yarn, whatever the appropriate needle size. I find that my regular number 9 needles that I would use for sweaters, the stitches are too loose. So we need a tighter gauge so that the stitches pop. And so I suggest for me and for you, if you've been using the number 9, drop down to a US number 8. It can be 29 inches in length, 24 inches in length. You don't need much. It's just a swatch, so you don't have to have, one of the big long, but if that's all you got, that's all you have. Or if you just have to drop down to a 7, depending on what yarn weight. I always use number 4 weight, not the full winter type or worsted weight. I try to find a nice number 4 weight, lightweight yarn to practice in. This is just practice. Remember, knitting is just practice, practice, practice. All right, the US number 8 needles, I'm going to use circulars. You can use whatever brand. This stitch count out of the book by Lynn Watterson is 10 stitches plus 11. So I just simply took 10 times 2 is 20. Add the 11 equals 31 stitches. Now, this is what she gave us. Now, this is what I'm giving you. This is, or you can give yourself, okay? This is Jay's working formula. I start whether it's knitting or crocheting with a straight line. That's all it takes for me. I've been teaching this way and sharing, and it works out so easy for me to understand. On my straight line, first of all, I separate. Anytime you see a line that's going vertical, that means we're going to put a stitch marker there. So on this straight line of cast on, we're going to put 31 stitches for the pattern, because I just showed you how I got the 31 stitches there. B just represents border. You can use E for edge. I use B for border. I always know when I see a B, that's my border. And I just, a lot of times, well, most of the time I just make that up, whatever you want for your border. But a lot of times I just look at whatever's in the number. I always try to use things that I already see. Knitting is mainly a visual skill. You see something, you see it, and then you can kind of bring it to life. Well, there's 31 stitches, so I just simply say, oh, there's a 3. Okay, a border of 3 here, a border of 3 here. Doesn't that look nice and neat? 3, 31, 3. That's my reasoning. That's how, look, I'm standing by it. That's my reasoning, how I come up with numbers. So when you add this up for our working, this is our working formula. This is for the sample. You get 37 stitches. Well, so I go ahead now and I take my US number 8 or whatever. I cast on 37 stitches. Now knit 2 rows and wait for me there. All right, back in just a minute. We're going to take a look at the chart. Okay. All right, here's the chart. All right. Don't worry. I'm going to walk you. It just looks kind of jumbled up because I didn't have time to go and try to have it enlarged. So, tip from Jay, I always take some graph paper, just blank graph paper, when I go to a copier store and have them to not only enlarge my chart so that my older eyes can read the charts, but I also have them to enlarge just plain blank graph paper. So if I needed to chart something on my own, maybe it's raining, I can't go out, maybe I don't feel good, okay, then that's what this is. So let me walk you through the basics of this chart. All right, first of all, according to whatever book you're reading, whatever author, designer, whatever, there's some things that are universal, and then some designers change to their own liking. So it's just always good to know, like I say, as I shared in the book, read a little bit before you get started. I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing. All right, on this side of the chart, this side of the chart represents the right side of the work or the fabric, okay? Right side. So, and usually it's odd numbers. So here's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Okay, these are the right side rows. If there is work to be done, most designers will add the numbers, the even rows over here to represent the wrong side. These are the wrong side rows. But a lot of times, if there is no work to be done and she'll give you instructions whether just purl back or knit back if you were doing garter stitch, then they will just simply leave these numbers off altogether. You will only get this side, the right side of the work. All right. Now let's talk about on this stitch in the book. It's 10 plus 11. So the main block of the stitches contained here in this first block, there's 10 stitches. Now to fill out her design and what she's trying to share with us to work the sample, she's added 1 stitch over here, so that's a +1, and then she added 10 more stitches on this side, another box or block. So that makes 10 stitches, and then you add 10 and 1, so 10 plus 11 to fill out this particular chart. And here's the repeat box, and you repeat this as many times as you want. In the sample we're doing, we will repeat this, we will do 2 repeats, and then we work the rest of all of the extra blocks off. I'm going to walk you through it just like I have before, so don't worry. All right, let me see anything else that I want to tell you about the chart as we go before we start actually stitching. All right. One of the first things I do and encourage others, when you get a chart, and especially now that I've enlarged my charts, if there are large spans of white boxes on the front of the work or the back, or just long groups of boxes, long spans, see? Go ahead and count the boxes so that you don't have to take your eye off when you're working, and then you have to go, you have to keep recounting. So I simply count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I stick a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stick a 5. Now I know on row 2, she says in the instructions, and those that are, if you have the book, you can, if you prefer the written word, you can read it out. But I am going to explain things because when I was reading her work, I don't know if she's English or not, or I don't know, but some of the things I had to change them to my Western way of understanding. I just didn't get some of the how she was explaining. It wasn't hard. It was just terms I wasn't used to. So I'll share that as we get on. But as you can see, so I would work this row, and then with all the boxes being white on the row number 2, I know to just simply purl back because she says so in the pattern. All right. Let's see if I want to see. Okay. Then all of a sudden everything got really great until I got to row 6, and I'm sailing thinking, oh, I just purl back, and then blip, she stuck in something. See, that's why you have to look. You check your charts first. Right here, she has us to do some work. 2 stitches. Don't ask me. 2 stitches on the wrong side. So I'm sailing along and I just went right past it. Oh, okay. So in order to help me to realize or to look at it or to take my time and slow down, on the front of my work, I pick a marker, a highlighter that I use, and it represents the front. I wouldn't use it for the back. For any time I want to represent the back of something to give me pause, to make me notice, hey Jay, you're going to have to work something on the wrong side, I use orange. So I had to go back and orange out this whole row. That's the only reason it's orange. It's to get me to slow down and say, oh, all of these are purl, but right here she threw in something. Stop, look, and listen. And then as I worked my way up, she did it again on row 12. I thought, oh, row 12, I'll just purl across. And then I had to put on my brakes. She did it again. So I went ahead and oranged out because orange represents the wrong side on my charts when I'm working. You can have pink and blue. You can have whatever you want. Just don't switch them back and forth. You know, make one front, one back. So I just had to go across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I marked the long spans. Then she threw in 2 stitches. Then 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She threw in 2 more. So to get me to slow down, I oranged out the box. Symbols. Symbols are very easy. We have worked them before. All symbols leaning to the left. She used slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over. That's what she used, and if you're following her closely, then that's what you use. Those of us who work charts a lot, I prefer slip, slip, knit. And that's probably what, you'll hear me say it. It's a lot faster to me, and it seems like it's less movement. I don't know. But leaning to the left, 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 leaning to the left. Slip, slip, knit, or slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over. So those that are going to follow the row by row out of the book, then don't get confused. It's the same. Of course, we know the circles are yarn overs. In the book, she writes, well, I don't know, I think she wrote it a little different or something. Anyway, I'll have to look but anyway, but we know circles are yarn overs. Now stitches that lean to the right, to the right, to the right. I simply knit 2 together. Knit 2 together. Okay, now, I can't remember about, about that. Okay, now on the purl side, sometimes they flip, but we have the written word to check as we go. So I won't get into that till we actually start stitching. That's too much information to keep trying to put in your head. All right, so, but all the symbols are recognizable. They're very easy symbols. This is not hard. It's just a lot of stuff I wrote on this chart. But the main thing that I have tried to, if you're going to work charts, this is something that I would highly recommend. Find the repeat box or the repeat section. Sometimes in the Japanese books, sometimes they're very vague about what's the repeat. That stops me a lot, In our books, most of our stitch books, they tell you they'll color code it or they'll do something to show you or put the box in red or they'll do something. It's obvious where the repeat is. So to make it obvious to myself and to you, I have always shared with you, take a highlighter. This represents the front of my chart, and I highlight yellow. Now don't go across, just highlight yellow. Then go over here and highlight yellow. So that when I'm working and I come to this yellow box and I have a repeat, I know to go right back to the yellow. I work across again. I come to this and I go, oh, I got more stitches. I got to go back up. I don't have a problem. My old eyes understand exactly where I'm to go, and it works a lot easier and a lot faster. You have a lot less mistakes when you're working charts. Your eye on a written pattern, which is fine because that's all I knew for years. You have to find, your eyes got to go back and find which two knit two together on the same line. Which one was I using? Where was I? So, but, you know, we're going to learn and grow as we go. Let me think, is there anything else on this chart? Did I cover everything? Because we're going to start stitching. You know to cast what to cast on, knit 2 rows, and we're going to start on row 1 and just work up. I will work every row that has work on it. Is there anything else? I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I think we're good to go. Are you ready? Are you ready to start some summer school stitching? Well, I am. So I'll be back in just a minute. All right, before we get started here, let me show you my little swatch, or my little sample swatch. And as you can see, just out of habit, I picked up my number 9 and started my swatch. And then that's when I realized, oh man, this is so loose, just too loose, and it's just not cohesive. And so then I realized, oh mercy, I need to pick up my number 8. So to get us started, and we're going to start on row 1, I will be working it on my number 8 to see if I can get a closer, tighter gauge so that our diamond eyelets will pop out. Also, thank you to all my friends who gave me feedback. I asked them feedback about the charts and how you're doing, and if there's anything that I could do to help. And Tony said that, you know, it's still a little challenging for her to kind of keep her eyes focused on the row we're working on the charts. So I'm going to try this, and everyone, Tony and everyone else, can try this at home too. Just block out all the other rows, and let's just concentrate on row 1. And when row 2 is so simple, you can leave that open too. And let's see if we can knit and, you know, see if that works. You have to try things to see what works for you. And then plus, you know that I took a good screenshot of I took a good picture at the beginning of the video, and then you can take a nice screenshot, and that will help you to have an enlarged version of the chart also. Now let me get ready to see where I am, if I'm ready, if I'm on. Okay, see if you can still see it. All right, so row 1 right here, we're working in this direction. It's the right side, and I have a 3-stitch border, so I'm simply going to start with knitting my 3 stitches for my border. I put a marker and I slide that marker. Now I am ready to start. The first stitch in row 1 is an empty box, and we know that that represents knit on the front, purl on the back. So I knit 1, then there's a yarn over, then a symbol leaning to the left, so I'm going to use slip, slip, knit. The written word, it has slip 1, knit 1, reach back and pass the slip stitch over. That's one extra step to me, but you use whatever. All right, now this is where I said it comes in handy. I don't have to stop now and go, okay, let me see now how many boxes. No, I've already pre-counted, so I know I simply need to knit 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So see, yarn over, slip, slip, knit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, next symbol, leaning to the right, I knit 2 stitches together. Then a yarn over, right? Then knit 1, stop, because the yellow tells me to stop. And I have some more stitches to work. So I'm back up to the beginning of the box only. Not to the beginning of the row, but to the beginning where the yellow, where we've highlighted. So I do a yarn over, I slip, slip, knit, I knit 5, oops, get some yarn here, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm up to the next symbol, leaning to the right, knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, knit 1, stop. I did 2 repeats. That's knit 1. I stop at the yellow, but I've already done my 2 repeats, so now all I have to do is to continue to work off the plus stitches, the extra stitches. So here we go. So after I knit that 1 at the highlight, I yarn over, then I slip, slip, knit, just like that. And of course I've pre-counted, so guess what? I just knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I have a symbol leaning to the right. I'm going to knit 2 stitches together. So I knit 2 together, yarn over, and guess what? I have 1 stitch left on row 1, and I have 1 stitch left in my work. So I knit that last stitch, slide the marker, and I'm back at my border on this side. Now, I spread my, of course you're down at the bottom, you only have 2 rows, you knit 2 rows, and this is row 1. So you can't really see much yet, but we shall continue. When you turn the work, of course you will knit your borders on each side, the beginning border and the end border, and all the stitches in between, according to her instructions, we just purl back. I will see you again at row 3. Alright, I'm back for row 3. Because row 2, I simply purl back, no work to be done there. So let's say I knit my 3 stitch border. And then right out the gate, slide my marker, and the first stitch is knit 1. Then inside the box, knit 1 again, yarn over, symbol leaning to the left, slip, slip, knit, then 3 stitches. I didn't mark 3, but I look for my 3 friends, and I have knit 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, and knit 2. 1 and 2. Stop. I'm at the yellow. Go back to the front of the box. I knit 1, yarn over. Now I'm going to slip, slip, knit, then I knit 3 again, then I knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, and knit 2. That ends my 2 repeats. Now I need to knit off. I need to knit off the last 10 stitches on row 3. So after I knit the 1, outside the box I knit 1 again, I yarn over, I have a symbol leaning to the left, so I'm going to slip, slip, knit, knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to knit 2 stitches together, just like that. Then I have the last yarn over on row 3. Then I have knit 2 stitches that are left, 1 and 2. Slide the marker and I knit my border. So row 3, we've worked across. Seems like everything is working. Like I say, and if you find that the 8 is even too loose a gauge, you can always drop down to a 7. For your swatches, find the gauge or the tightness that you that will work for you and stand out. All right, so that was row 3 all the way across. Row 4, look, there's nothing in there, no surprises, so we simply purl back. I will see you at row 5. All right, we're back and we are ready to work row 5. So I've worked my border, I slide my marker, and row 5, just to make sure you see it, starts with a knit 1, 2, 3. 3 empty, knit 3 empty boxes. So knit 1, 2, and 3. Then I do a yarn over, and then I do a slip knit because it's leaning to the left. All right, then I knit 1 and it should hit a center. There's a center. So I knit 1 stitch. Then I knit 2 stitches together. Yarn over, and just for the first repeat, I'm going to knit 1, 2, 3. So I knit, after that yarn over, I knit 1, 2, 3. Now take my eyes back up to the beginning of the box only, and I'm going to knit 1, 2. So now I just simply knit 1, 2, then yarn over. I'm going to slip knit. Oops, got a little tangle up there. There's a yarn over, then we did a slip knit. There it is. Okay, then I look for that center stitch. I'm going to knit 1 in the center. Then there's knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, and I knit 1, 2, 3. Stop for a moment. Okay, I can tell I've done my 2 repeats, and so now all I have to do is continue and knit off the extra stitches. So after knitting 1, 2, 3, continue across, knit 2, yarn over, I do a slip knit, knit 1, knit 2 stitches together, just like that. Then there's a yarn over, and I should end with 3, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 empty boxes. So there's my 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. Slide my marker, and I just knit my 3 border stitches. Just like this. Just knit them. And let's pull it over so we can see. You're still at the bottom, so there's not a lot to see yet, but we are making progress. Okay. Now, if you do come up with something happens and maybe you lost a stitch or something, there should be 31 stitches on this whole, that number doesn't change, so you can always stop, back out, go back up to the front and count and see if you have 31 stitches for the row. 31 stitches. All right, now we're going to get ready to work row 6. The one that kept, look, I was just flying through, just purling away before I realized. All right, so I will see you back shortly for row 6. Now take your time and just get row 5, take care of everything. And maybe I should take that 5 out and make it a 3. That might be throwing, so I might do that. I might just change that to a 3. When I'm working and I'm working fast, I can easily count, you know, on the last repeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that may be throwing people, so I might change it to a 3. All right, back in just a moment. All right, we're back. I had to juice up my camera, so this was a good place to stop and come back. We are, look, on the wrong side of the work. Did you forget? And turn and start purling without noticing. That's why I have, look, the orange tells me stop, look, and listen, Jay. And I still pass it myself. But we're on the wrong side of the work, and we're ready to work row 6, working in this direction. We're going to be working here all the way back. So, as you see, I have pre-counted, and the first thing I have to do is just easy. We're on the wrong side, so the white box is on the wrong side means to purl. So I'm just going to purl 10 across. So I've already purled 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that puts me right here. Then the next thing is we have to go all the way so that we can do the repeat box. So right here, now we yarn over, but instead of, it's leaning to the right, this symbol, but remember we're on the purl side. So it would be, instead of knitting 2 together, we're going to purl 2 together. But now listen, once we're on the purl side, this last stitch I just purl right here, it puts me into the yarn over position. See it? Can you see that? I'm already, once I purl that last stitch. So now, but in order to purl, I have to come around the needle so that I'm in the front, so that I am purling this stitch in this direction. So there's my yarn over. I purl purl 2 together, sorry. Purl 2 together instead of knit 2 together. All right. And then look, then it says purl 8. So let's count 1. I'm just going to double check my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So purl 8. So now I do 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5, 6, that's 7, and 8. Just make sure, because I don't want to take out anything or have any problem. Look, I don't want no problem. 2, 4, 6, let's see. Oh, after purl 2 together, okay. 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, so now after I purl 8, I have to stop because I came to a yellow stop sign right here, a yellow area. And I see that I have a few more stitches. See, I got to go, so I have to go back. Have to go all the way back and start here again. So there's the yarn over position. I bring the yarn to the front. I'm going to purl 2 together. I purl 2 together. Now I'm going to purl 8 again. 1, 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And before I'm through, look, remember that 1 extra stitch right over here? That's not part of the repeat. It's 1 stitch, so I purl that 1 extra stitch, makes it 9. Okay, then I have to put my yarn in back because I'm through with that wrong side row. And now I need to knit my 3 little stitches on my border. So the yarn goes in the back. Knit 1, 2, and 3. Let's turn the work. And you have just worked the reverse side of this stitch pattern, row number 6. You take your time. The best thing though for me that helped me to kind of settle down as I started trying to work more charts where we're going to pick up more rows on the wrong side was to go ahead and highlight that row with a I call it a wrong side highlight color, whatever color you pick. Maybe you want bright blue, who knows. But yellow is for my front, and then that tells me to stop. There's something to do. Now, of course, we are ready to work row 7. Now, row 7 is the right side. So, let me just give you a second, a little bit to catch up, and I will be back and we'll work row 7 together. Alright, so we're at row 7. We are on the right side. That's how you know, okay, I'm right. I'm on the right side, so this is row 7. Row 7, just a reminder, on the right side starts over here. Now watch. It starts with knit 1, 2, 3. 1 outside the box, 2 inside of the box. That makes 3. Just didn't want you to kind of like, okay, miss that first stitch. So let me do my little border, my 3-stitch border. Okay, row 7, we start with knit 3, or 1 out of the box and then 2 inside. Now I have the first stitch I come to, the first symbol leans to the right, so that's knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, look for a center stitch because you want to knit 1. Then you're going to have a symbol leaning to the left, slip, slip, knit, just like this, slip, slip, knit. Ooh, it's kind of slipped to get in there. Now, just going back to the end of the box, 1, 2, 3, knit 3 after the slip, slip stitch, knit 1, 2, and 3. Okay, stop. And you want to bring your eye back up to the front of the box because we had 2 repeats. So I knit 1, then 2, then I'm going to do a knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, knit 1 for a center, yarn over, slip, slip, knit. Okay, then I see that I have just a few stitches left and we've already done our 2 repeats. So I'm going to, after I do the slip, slip, knit, then I have 1, 2, 3, and then inside the box 4, 5 with the 2 outside of the box. So that's why I wrote 5, but you can just write 3 if that's going to confuse you. So after the slip, slip, knit, leaning to the left, I'm going to knit 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, that brings me here to a symbol leaning to the right again. And that means knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, knit 1, then yarn over, slip, slip, knit, and then right here on the very end I need to knit 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Knit my last 3 stitches for row 7. It is the right side of the work. Slide my marker and I knit my 3-stitch border. We've just knitted row 7. just like that. All right, so row 8, it's not highlighted in orange or anything, so I know that, and it's a wrong side because the number's on this side. It's an even number. So I'm going to just purl back, and I will see you at row 9. Take care and take your time. All right, we're up at row 9, ready to bat. I have worked my border over. You slide the marker. I'm right here on the right side of row 9, right here. And we're going to start out with knit 2. Knit 2 stitches. One outside the box and one in. So knit 2, 1, 2. Then I knit 2 stitches together because it's leaning to the right. I yarn over, and then I knit 3. Look for 3, my 3 friends. There they are. 1, 2, and 3. Then I yarn over again. Now I'm here where it leans to the left, so we're going to slip, slip, knit. And then knit 2 stitches. 1, 2. Okay, now that's my first repeat. So now I have one more. Come back up to the front of the box where the yellow highlight is, and I start with a knit 1, knit 2 stitches together, yarn over. I look for my 3 stitches, 3 friends again, so I knit 1, 2, and 3. I have a yarn over, then a slip, slip, knit. Slip, slip, knit, go in like that. And then I knit 2 stitches. 1, 2, stop. All right. So now I've done my 2 repeats, and I'm right here, so I need to knit across all these extra or plus stitches right there. So right after I knit 1, 2, then the next stitch outside the box I knit. Then I knit 2 stitches together. It leans to the right. Yarn over. Look for my 3 friends. Knit 3. 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over. Alright, I have a symbol leaning to the left, so I'm going to slip, slip, reach back and knit those 2 together. And at the end of the row, I have 2 stitches left, so I knit 2. 1, 2, slide the marker, and I knit off my border. Just like that. Can't really see a whole lot, but with practice, and like I said, if I had just used my smaller needles maybe to start or even go smaller to make the gauge tighter so that the actual stitches and the design will pop more. Of course, now when we are making our garment, we're going to maybe choose another yarn or a yarn that will look good with our number 9 needles. Okay, but there it is. We just finished row 9. Row 10, it's not highlighted in orange, so all I have to do is purl all the stitches back. Guess what? I will see you on row 11. Take your time, take care. You can do it. Back in just a moment. I am back, and we are on row 11 of this pretty diamond eyelet stitch. I hope that you are working and feeling that you are, just that you're improving your skills, and that charts are something that you can feel you can look forward to. Alright, I knit my 3 border stitches. I slide my marker right here, row 11. It starts here. We're working the right side. It's simply knit 1 to start outside of the box. So I knit 1. Then there's knit 2 stitches together. It leans to the right. So knit 2 stitches together. Yarn over. I've already pre-counted, so knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, yarn over. Then the next symbol leans to the left, so I'm doing the slip, slip, and then turn and reach back and knit the two together, just like that. And then knit 1, and I'm at the yellow highlight part of the repeat. So now I know I need to come back up because I have 2 repeats. I need to come back up and start here. And it starts out with knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, now knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oops. Get some more yarn. Then I have a yarn over, another slip, slip, knit, and knit 1. All right, now that's my 2 repeats. So I look and I only have a few more stitches left to work. So that means I'm going to knit the extra stitches on this side of the chart. So it starts right here after this knit 1. It starts here with knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, now knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, row 11 ends with a yarn over, slip, slip, knit, and there's 1 stitch left on the end of the row. I have 1 stitch right there, so I knit 1, slide the marker, and knit my 3 border stitches. 1, 2, and 3. We have just worked row 11 of our beautiful diamond eyelet chart. I don't know how much that's showing up, but I do believe going down to a smaller needle will make your stitches pop. So I may even go down if I do more, well not if, but when I do more of the swatches, not from this book and from other books, I may even go down, I may try 7. You know, Jay has a problem going too small with the needles. I don't want to start cramping my hands. Alright, that was row 11. Ta-da! Let me show you what's left. Let's see if that's showing up at all. Ta-da! The only thing we have left is row 12. And I'll adjust the camera when I come back to make sure I get all of row 12 in. Let's see, can I pull it up just so you can see it? Row 12 I have highlighted in orange because it is the wrong side. And we will be working and right across row 12. Alright, so I will be right back. I'll give you time to catch up. Take your time, and I will see you in just a minute. Alright, of course, row 12, like I said, is on the wrong side. So we need to be on the wrong side of the fabric. So once you finish row 11, you go right into row 12. We're going to work across on this wrong side row. She decided to throw a few things in here. I guess to keep us awake. I don't know. Alright, so let me go ahead and knit my little 3-stitch border because we knit those 3 stitches on every row. It's just a little border just to keep the project from rolling. Alright, now when you're working row 12, it's the wrong side, so look where which side the number is on. So we're working in this direction, and I highlighted mine in orange so that I will know. Stop, look, and listen, Jay. Slow down because there's a few, you have to work something on row 12. So let's start right here and work it and knit it together. Slide the marker. First thing I see is purl 5. So I bring my yarn in front and I purl. Remember, white boxes or white squares, it means knit on the front, but we're on the wrong side on the back, so we purl. So I purl 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. I was talking. So I have my purl 5. See that? Okay, then right here we have a yarn over and then a symbol leaning to the right. But since we're on the wrong side, we're not going to knit 2 together. We're going to purl 2 together. So watch. As soon as I finish that last purl stitch, you see that? I just finished doing the 5. And when I finish the last stitch, you see I'm already in the yarn over position. So all I have to do is bring the yarn around to the front of the needle, because I need to be in the purl position so that I can go in up under 2 stitches, purl 2 together, just like this. Okay, then I see a 3, so now I'm going to purl the next 3. Just 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm moving over into the box right in here. So the next thing I see is purl 5 again. So let's go. 1, 2, that's 3, 4, and 5. Check it, make sure I don't have any kind of mistakes. Look, not now. Look, oh no, not now. Okay. So I really should have 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep, I do. Now we're back at that yarn over, but since I just purled that last stitch, I'm in the yarn over position. So all I have to do is just go around the needle, come in front. Now I'm going to purl the next 2 stitches together. Right here. There's the symbol leaning to the right. So I purl those 2 together on the purl side. Okay. Then right here, after that I have 1, 2, 3. 3 stitches in the box. So I purl 1, 2, and 3. Now stop. Alright. Just like when we reach in the repeat box and we see that we have more stitches, then we go back to the beginning of the box right here, and I'm going to purl 1. Oh, I was on the wrong line. You go back to the beginning of the box right here. Purl 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I just didn't take my highlight up enough because I had my orange there. Then I come back. There's that yarn over again. I'm in that position, but I'm going to come around and purl 2 together. 1, 2. I purl 2 stitches together, and then I look. I have to knit, purl 1, 2, 3, and remember there's 1 stitch left in this column, so it makes 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check and see if you have 4 stitches left. I do. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will simply purl off those stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now my yarn goes in back, slide my marker, and all I have to do is knit my 3-stitch border. Just like that. Woo! Guess what? We can exhale. So I can turn my work now, and hopefully you have too. Stayed with it. This is just practice, people. This is just practice yarn. This is not the project. This is just to get you familiar with it and get you to feel relaxed and to help grow your confidence. But there we have here rows 1 through 12 in our little practice swatch. That's all it is. This is not the project. All right, so that's it for working this chart. Now, some of you may say, "Ooh, Jay, okay, that was fun, but I don't know if I'd want to work a big project." Well, let me show you what in this book. I'm going to move everything aside. I'm going to put my chart back here. And I'm going to get the book. This was on chart 92. I'm just using the page number. Okay, what's so great? Some other things that we can talk about. Now let me reposition my camera back out just a little bit so we can just talk a little bit. Yeah, this side is what I want. That's perfect. Move the bird out of the way. Okay, and down. I can go down just a little bit so that we can kind of get. Now I want to talk about the book again. Alright, in this book, here's a stitch that we just worked together. Here's the written pattern. Here's the chart that I was working, that we were working together. So that's two sources right there. The written pattern chart, a more advanced chart. But look, if you look, she also, even she realized, hey, everyone's not in the same place. And everyone's not ready for maybe a large or more involved chart. Well, she also gives the row by row instructions for a simpler, easier chart to work with only 10 stitches plus 1. 10 plus 1. See, if you look right here, it says worked on a multiple of 10 stitches plus 1. So now you can simply switch over, because I've worked the harder chart with you. This one, we don't have to worry about working the wrong side. This was the diamond and eyelet chart. I just wanted to work something out of this book. I have another project. I believe I'm gonna work in this book. I won't show it to you yet because I'm still working on which one. I worked at one already. I didn't quite like it. But like I said, this is not a book review. I will put the book review over in the comment section. And you can always go back and check. Like I said, I'm not really trying to get you to buy the books. I'm just taking you step by step. But for those who like to have their own source, their own books, then I want you to be able to understand and be able to use the book if you're going to spend your money. Well, here's my little sample. There's my sample. I hope your sample is as pretty. Like I said, I'm thinking of a project. Now let me hear from you some feedback on what type of project. I'm thinking of a project that I want to go ahead and put this in. Of course, it'll be on the next video if I go ahead and in fact, I started working on something and I'm still up in the air. I'm kind of deciding. But if you feel strongly about this particular stitch, you like the way it looked on your swatch, then give me an idea of what you might have in mind. Well, I can't think of anything else, but just to say thank you so much. I want you to let me know what you think of Jay's Knit Summer School for Stitches. Just going to summer school instead of I want to be ready for the fall. I want to have these stitches under your belt. I want you to be comfortable with them. Because the next book, she has a second book of cables. We got to get to that one too. So I have quite a few, I have quite a large catalog of stitch books. So let's just take our time and go to summer school and just use these books and learn some of these charts and stitches and patterns. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. Thank you so much for spending the evening with me. I hope I covered the chart well. I hope you feel more confident. I hope you feel like your skills are growing. And I will see you shortly. And once I decide which one I'm going to make. It'll be a surprise. But please, in the comments, leave me some feedback. Tell me what you think. If you're new to this and you think, oh my gosh, I just think that it's just fast and easy. Now, I had to take my time, trying to share. But once, if you're just there by yourself, oh my gosh, you can knit that little swatch up. You'd have been done in a couple hours or an hour. It wouldn't have taken no time. Just take a little concentration. And remember, knitting is just practice, practice, practice. So, I will see you shortly. Enjoy and happy knitting. Bye-bye.